For the very first site, we're going to choose the most common one, as CCTV and cache. And for this example, I'm going to be going mute. Because with the shotgun, you can open rotates and such. SMG will give us a good example of firefights that can take place. I will be using all four of the signal disruptors and nitro cell. I'll give an example for that. So now that we're in, the first thing we're going to want to make sure is turn off the radio. These walls here go to the outside, right? We don't want that. We are going to reinforce these walls. It's the first thing we're going to want to do. Now that that's done, there's another exterior wall that's important to reinforce. Just over here. And that wall is this one. Goes right to the construction spawn. I want to reinforce this. So, next thing that we're going to want to do, after we've got that and the two other walls set up, is there's a rotate right over here that you're going to want to set up. This will help us with two things. First, we get easy access to another angle in the breach. And any roamers coming back from, say, working downstairs, or maybe even in rafters, in the garage anyway, can now get back to site much easier to help defend late in the round. And now, we're going to use two of our jammers. First jammer, we're going to put it right here. This jammer will stop anyone playing downstairs from getting a drone into sight. It'll stop right here. You won't be able to jump up on here. If you move this here, you might be able to stop a drone from going there, going into here, but we won't need to do that in a second. This here stops anything from downstairs getting here. Second jammer will go right here. This will stop anyone trying to drone from the breach into sight without the wall open. If the wall's open, they can do it anyway, but there's no stopping that. A jammer here would be just wasting it. This will also stop any Twitch drones from getting in and getting your bandit boxes or whatever. Now, is the important topic of rafters. This is a very important piece of real estate to hold. Because right next to site, first of all. And if you can open that right there, this gives some crazy angles. First of all, you're working rafters. You have easy line of sight into the default plant, because that's what this is, right there. You're going to want to breach there, come in, plant right there under the cover of smoke. You smoke here, smoke there. Easy plant, but you could stop that from this position. You can get another angle on the breach. Yeah, you can get one over here. Get another one over here. You can contest construction from here. And you can contest this window that leads onto the balcony. So this piece is prime real estate. This door here will also, we open this, go straight out to the breach. So what you can do, even if you hold this and you have it well, if there's a claymore, you can shoot a claymore. You can get a run out, kill thermite, whoever's trying to breach. Now, just in case, it doesn't help. Right. It doesn't hurt to reinforce this right here, because you don't need this to be open as well, and this will stop you from getting wall banged when you're, say, contesting this window. One last thing to help the rafter player out, ignore that that's set up again, is you can place a mute jammer right here. This mute jammer will stop people droning there from droning out rafters, and then, in extension, having a drone in sight. So, it's another useful jammer. Next thing we're going to want to do is we can open some holes here. You notice that it's a bit higher than normal head hose, and that's for a reason. C4. This C4, if aimed right, this is a bit off. If you land it over here or such, you will kill whoever's planting. So ignore that ping, that was my Discord. Now, there's a matter of this wall right here. there's two things that you can do. You can decide. First thing is you can open this. Opening this will allow you to contest construction quite easily. You know, you can sit behind the bomb, stop them from moving in the bedroom door. If they jump in the window, another easy, really easy shot, easy kills. However, let's put yourself in the perspective of someone trying to attack this site. Look how much room you have in cache from the bedroom. Quite a bit. Usually, when I attack from this side into cache, I love opening this because I get to see everything in there. Probably don't want your site getting, you know, opened up like a can of beans or something, so I prefer to just reinforce this. Now it's time for the last jammer. And put the jammer anywhere in this area. Put it out here. You could deny a little bit of area in construction, but it's still easier for attackers to get at, so just place it here. That's all our jammers. Now, at this point, I realize, top of our screen, we have 5 reinforcements left. So, you could reinforce these walls, but I wouldn't, personally. There's no point to it. A better use of 4 of these reinforcements would actually be in garage again. These walls down here, it's good to reinforce them. So imagine an attacker can now come in completely free, because what's the rafter guy gonna do? He's gonna have to go all the way down the stairs, and whoever's contesting that door can just easily get them. So, first of all, you don't want them breaking in here. Another thing is that default cam. Where is it? There it is. You can see rafters completely free. So, if you lose rafters, you want this cam up. So, but, you know, easy pickings from this area. So, may as well reinforce these two. And what about these 2 walls? Well, same thing, but for a different reason. An attacker coming in here can be contested from those rafters, but if they don't feel like leaving, they can just hold that window, which is the rotate for people in rafters to get back to site. You can just hold it. It's free. It's yours. They can't do anything about it. So that's another reason why these 2 should be also reinforced. The last up, you'll notice that we have 1 more reinforcement, and there's a room that they can easily get right outside of site construction. Now, these walls here are great to hold construction. If we go around into this office, these walls here are the same walls. We open this here, we don't really get to see into cache, but we can hold this area. The reason you wanna open this instead of this is they can easily see into cache, and that hatch leads to the roof. They can easily get that hatch. There's nothing you can do. A sledge can get that hatch effortlessly. You can't bother reinforcing it. So, this spot, if they don't go, is great for holding construction. It's your best bet, other than just ratting there. But, yeah. It's better to just reinforce this. Give yourself some cover. And when this is taken, you get a very, very, very small angle into cache, but that's not good enough. So this is your best bet. That's the first site. So the next site you're going to want to pick after CCTV, I really suck at saying that, and cache, is gym bedroom. For this site, I like Frost. Frost is great. First thing, radio, of course. Since we spawned in gym, we may as well start in gym. This here, this is a wall between the 2 different sites. This room is a lot easier to control than that one. So, you should probably play in that room to stop them from taking that room. The reason that this room is easier is because there's two ways that people can shoot from. Here, contest the window, contest the room from here. And if you say make footholds, now those footholds, you may notice, if someone was to walk in the window, which is right there, you can easily see their feet. They can't see yours because of how far back you are, and there's a couch here. And it's a bed here. They can't see you unless they, prone. But free pickings if they do. Now, next up, this is an exterior wall. I'm going to want to reinforce this. And there's another in construction, which we reinforced last time. On the other side, if you remember. This wall here. If you remember, one of the ways we can contest this room is this doorway. And since we're not making any rotates into sight from this room, if we do want to get into this room, it's much quicker instead of going around in the hallway to make a rotate here. It's best as a vault rotate because if someone were to breach this wall and want to go into bathroom, there's an animation, and if you listen, it makes a bit of noise. Plus, this is why frost is great. You put a frost mat here. Heat of the moment, if they breach this, they want to come in, they have to get cover fast. So, they can't stand here. If they come in here, there's, footholes. So, you jump in, frost mat. So, you remember when we were holding cash, and we had to worry about the enemies holding construction? Well, it's the same thing here, it's a little bit different. First of all, it's better to just reinforce this, because otherwise, they can get a sight line in from cash, straight into sight, and at both sites. So this is a good, just reinforce this. Don't worry about making kill holes like we did with the last site. Now here, this is going to be a bit different. Remember last time how we put the head holes here? Like so. We're going to want to do it a bit differently this time. I don't want to go around, so I'll just go through. Because you notice here, we can hold construction, like we did before. Or, this wall this time, we can hold cash and construction. So, when you're holding cash... So, when you're playing cash, I mean, and you want to hold construction, this is easy to get to. You don't want them shooting into sight. Normally you'd want an angle on sight, but not if it's this easy to get to. Sure, you get a better angle on the door here, but with this, you get worse angle, but you can hold more area, and it might be easy to take, but you can't shoot into sight. Make sense? I'm going to reinforce this. Now, of course, the person who's playing here, what if they need to get back to sight, but the breach is open? You wouldn't want them running across here, because that would suck. It would be rough. So, this here, we're going to make a rotate on this side. The reason is simple. You see that mattress? If I can get in. That mattress covers the window. So if I went out this window, and I wanted to look at this, I have a small angle compared to the entire rotate if that was open. So if you are gonna make a rotate here, so who's ever working in this office can hold construction, they need to get back to site. You want them to have cover on their way back. So I'll reinforce this. Now, of course, as I'm Frost, I still have 2 mats, and I have a shield. So, I have places you can put these mats. Obviously, there's these windows. Great places. If someone were to vault in there, easy kill. Someone to vault in there, easy kill. So either of those spots work. These stairs right here, another great spot. We were to place the mat right here, say, because if you're attacking these stairs, you want to watch where enemies are going to be. So this area is clear, right? You look up, and boom, you're in the mat. So that mat is a good spot. You wouldn't want to leave the mat here, because that way, when they're coming up, oh, mat. But if it's here, much harder to see if they're watching for heads. Free kill. Plus, if they come through this window here, into the mat. Another good place for a mat, again, either of those spots. If you want to, you can turn this from a kill hole into a rotate. That way, you can still contest the door if you vault. But, if you don't want them coming through, you have a frost mat for that. Now, lastly, your shield. Very common-ish to put a shield here to contest the breach. However, you'll notice that you do get an interesting angle here, but for the most part, it's clunky if you want to contest stairs. If you want to get that frost mat kill, push, this isn't the best. So, I take this over here, and I put it here. Notice, now, it's not in the door. Actually, let's move this real quick, just so you can see. This would be in the door. Right? I'm going to move this just out. You see the symbol on the bottom middle of my screen, just above the compass and the bedroom? When it says, when the frame gets removed, that's when you place it. Is this here? You get a pixel peek. And it's a bit farther out. So, you can't swing as much because of these boards. Can't swing, can't get in there. But, if you were to place it in the frame, they can now get a farther angle. So, even if you really want, if you want to sacrifice your pixel peak to move it even further out, they just outright can't get an angle whatsoever. And so if you were to hide right here, they wouldn't be able to see you. And then if they want to come in, they have to vault. Puts you right into the line of fire. Easy kill. And that's bedroom and gym. Now, out of these last two sites, you're going to want to pick basement. It's a lot easier to hold than stage and bar. Trust me on this. We'll get to that soon. For this one, I like Cade. I take the semi-automatic shotgun. These pistols, I hate them both. I suck with them, but you don't really get much of a choice. Now, first things first, hatches. So, run up the stairs. Take a left, and in here, in kitchen, there is a hatch. You don't want to get this. This is going to lead to the B site. Also, keep in mind, this is a destroyable floor. That leads to that office that we keep using to hold top floor. So if it's because people never look up, if you were to, say, sit in there and wait for them to try and get this hatch, you may get a free kill or two. Now, next hatch is in bar. Stop it. This hatch here, I don't ever remember what that room is called, but I'll put it on screen if I can remember. And then over here, for our last site, which leads to blue. And then we can run back down. So, we're in blue. That's where that site, that's where that hatch was. That was the kitchen hatch. And this was that hatch by the bar, right there. Now, before I set up my electro class, we're going to head into dirt. Because in dirt, by these shipping containers, this is outside. Now, you don't want to reinforce these. No benefit for holding them. And if I can manage to claw my way out, now that I'm outside, you'll notice that there's a drone hole here, and the ground dips a bit. It means that if you were a bandit and you placed a bandit box on here, I can easily get it. Which means that if I was a thermite, I'd be able to breach this no sweat these reinforcements wouldn't really do much. Which is why I'm Cade. So now that I'm Cade, I just put my electric claw somewhere that he can't get it. And now these walls are electric. Safe. And now, for your next electric claw, best place is going to be this hatch here. Because this hatch is the only one that leads directly into sight. You'll notice that the other hatch in there, doesn't go directly into sight. This hatch goes into blue, not sight, so they can't drop and plant. This one, they drop into sight. They can plant somewhere like here. This is a common spot. It's easy to get, so this is where we're going to want to put our next electric claw. So next up, this here is where these are the main stairs, right? Central stairs, main stairs, whatever you want to call them. Now, if you put footholes in here, they have to make a decision. They could leave, and you win that engagement, technically, because they left. They go through here, you shoot them in the foot, you win the engagement. Or they go down there, which, guess what? You shoot them in the foot and win the engagement. Footholes, easy win. Especially if you're back here, crouch over here. What are they going to do? They can't do anything. Just easily get them. If you want to, just so it's easier to hold, instead of having to go around here, you just simply open up a rotate right here. Now, easily go back and forth between the two sites. Lastly, there's a question of blue. Because, you have quite a few angles to contest this. Remember, you have the footholes. All the hatches are reinforced. So, there's blue. It depends how you want to hold this. You could just turtle and not worry about it. Just force them to come through the door. If you want, you can bring a bandit or a mute. Take this. Or there's a more aggressive way of holding it. First part of that is to make a rotate. What is holding that? Okay. My goodness. So, this rotate here, you can contest the stairs from sight. You can contest the ladder that goes into garage. And with this, it's mostly safe. Like, yeah, you can go there. You can see them. The reason that the rotate is here is because it's very, very common for people to push through that garage ladder into oil. Which do you see first? There, or there, right? It's the last one you see. This is the most common, so want it safest from there. For the rest of this, it doesn't hurt to put footholes. Because that way, if they were to hold in there, easy kills. Now, here, you could technically do the same thing, but keep in mind that if someone is trying to play in blue, like one of your teammates, and they bring a Thatcher, get that claw, drop, footholes here, any type of hole here could hurt that guy, so you may as well just reinforce these. Personally, I prefer reinforcing them. Because that way, I force them to move through the door, and there's plenty of cover in Arsenal. There's, these containers. Got back here. Got another pillar here. You've got great lines of sight in this door. Why bother with that? But oh, by the way, these walls. May want to reinforce these. There's no benefit. I mean, I guess if you want footholes, but there's usually that one guy who's allergic to roaming or any sort of thing that requires this W key until they're planting. So he may not like this because they can see him. They have a better angle from there to here than here would to there, if that makes sense. So it's better to reinforce this. But if you don't want to reinforce this, you can reinforce this. It doesn't matter. You can choose. It's up to you and your squad. And that's basement. Last and most certainly least is not this one. Stage and bar. And the operator we're gonna pick, keep in mind, this site is very different. So it's not really about the site, it's about the operator. So I'm gonna go vigil just for an example, okay? So, the annoying music. Tell it to stop. Thank you. Now, you'll notice something. This site is open. So there isn't really a safe area, because like look how many areas the safest probably the safest area is behind this bar. Because you've got cover, you can test that window, you can test here, test further in. This bar is the safest place. If you're gonna turtle here. There isn't really any other great places, except for maybe if you're gonna rat. Like, yeah, push in. What's the worst that can happen? You could barricade this. Normally, I wouldn't just recommend randomly barricading things, but you get great lines of sight like that. That's good. That's good advice. However, we're gonna actually start reinforcing things. First of all, hatches. The first hatch is in construction. It's amazing how important this little piece of retail is on this map. I reinforce this. And the second hatch is all the way in gym. Now, while I'm up here, I want to point something out. When you were holding CCTV and cache, it's about your setup. Because right, you have to think of how you're gonna protect the breach, because that's the most common route. How these why do I forget what it's called? The railings, whatever. How they tie into defending the site, because they're very important, right? Now, bedroom is it's similar, but more gun focused. There's still a breach in how you approach the breach. There's still, how you hold construction, right? Because this was different depending on the site. And in the basement, it's how you hold those doors. How you hold blue. Do you have the hatches, right? Did you reinforce dirt? But when you're in bar, there isn't really a safe place because the floor is destructible. Give an example. The floor is destructible. There's a breachable surface there. There's a breachable surface there. There's a window there. This goes outside, of course. Those are breachable. That's breachable. So, when you're holding bar and stage, it's not about holding the site. It's about holding around the site. Positions that make you more powerful than the enemy. For example, this hallway here. In the outside the strip. This pool table. You can swing here, and you can get a lot of real estate in sight. It's important to hold this, as well as this bathroom, because you can hold this entire hallway along with these stairs from here, and then you can switch over to the pool table. And, vigil, you can hide. They'll never see you, right? Even here. They won't know. Like, this is not a very common place for attackers to enter. They will enter once in a blue moon, because there is a door there, a breachable surface, along with a door there. But it's not a common place for them to breach. Be mindful of that. For actual reinforcements, this wall. And if you're wondering, that wall just goes to here, top, which is where the hatch that went to blue was. Now, these walls, I would recommend reinforcing them because of how tight you are up against this. It wouldn't help to put footholes, because it's more likely to come back to bite you than anything. So I'd reinforce these just to give your anchor. Remember, your anchor should be in this spot. Give your anchor some support. It was a bizarre site, but that's the site.